Welcome everyone. Today I have it's so a big pleasure for me. I lost my word. It's like having Christel. To be honest, if I did the show in English, was mainly because of you.
Really?
Yeah. Welcome everyone to Relationship. Should we talk about it? And today I have for guest my dear friend Christel Crawford. Welcome, Christel. How you be?
I'm so good. Thank you so much for this and for you.
Oh, yeah, and really, I remember when we met last year.
Mm-hmm.
It was so fun because I was like, ah, you impressed me, and I told you that already. I was like,
You
oh,
did.
what's going on? Why I am impressed? So I just lowered on my barriers and come to you at lunch. I remember it was with Wesley, and and we had an amazing chat, and since then, just talking sometime, and always good, like the contribution you are for that creation and to my life is amazing. So I'm so grateful for you. Thank you, Christel.
You're welcome. I'm so grateful for you too.
And really, we did not plan anything. It's really about being vulnerable and lowering down on barrier and have fun. That's all those talk are about. It could be a 10, 20 or 1 hour talk, how you want, just for the fun of it. So I have only one question, Christel. What relationship is for you or are? No, internet lagging.
So I'm just gonna. It's okay. I'm gonna keep talking. Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you. Did you hear my only question?
We're probably gonna have. Now you can hear me. Okay. I heard your only question. Yes, you're coming through just fine.
I just
So his relationship for me.
Yeah.
It does keep breaking out right when we go to that question, which is very funny. So So relationship for me is a tremendous gift. It's funny because this particular topic or area of my life has always been a part of my life that I thought I struggled with. My mom made me believe that I was really bad at relationships, family and otherwise, and she insisted I go to therapy so that I could be better at it. And I actually went to Bible school in my 20s because I was trying to find my foundation because I wanted to be better at relationships. Relationships has been the thing, family, friendships, that I have wanted to be good at my whole life. And I was told I was bad at. And it's interesting when, now looking back, it's just interesting now looking back because I've had such a varied, landscape of relationships. I've been married twice. I had very, very intense family relationships. So relationship for me is an incredible possibility. I do find that for what I find talking to most people is that it's also one of the most kind of landmine laden, topics that exist out there. And so I put the quote on my graphic, and it was very short, and it was fantasy or living dream. Because for a very, very, very long time, I functioned from fantasy of a good relationship, primary relationship mostly with a man. And what I started to discover through my explorations and just choosing and dating and all the various iterations that took was that there is the possibility of creating something that really works, that can be your own living dream, and that it's very, very, very different for all of us. And that was something hard won. I think that awareness was something I really had to explore dynamically to get. And so that's what it is for me now. That's what I'm creating now. And that doesn't mean that it's all, popcorn and unicorns and rainbows all the time. It just means that I am constantly present with and actively participating in something that really works. Hey, Jason, nice to see you. And so it's a very, I think relationships are a very personal thing. You know, it's very personal to you and to what it is that works for you. And it's also just filled with like projections and expectations and, you know, all this other stuff that other people just load into it, you know. And so navigating all of that has been really one of my, and it's been really worth it. I'm really grateful.
That's great. I love that.
So what is like Romain? It's really great. Tell me about like what's relationship for you? I mean, you've been talking to a bunch of people, but like tell me what it is for you.
Like my main focus at the moment is to nurturing my relationship with myself. Like just I acknowledge like few years, months, week, I don't know. I keep acknowledging the fact that if you want to be happy, just choose to be happy, and you are the only one responsible like for filling that happiness cup. And the more I choose for me, and the more it's funny because the more I choose to be the leader of my life, to choose for me, not against others, to really live the life of the dream, my dream life. Like for me, it's being an invitation for people around me to choose more for them. And I just have no point of view about, if they choose to quote unquote live of my life, that's fun. What else is possible? I'm so like, having fun and like not catching part on myself. And that's great. Because a lot of time you think you do stuff to please other people, but sometimes it's just the projection of their expectation. It's even not really their expectation. So you are trying hard to fit in a box you think they have, and it probably is not. So it's just a double.
It's not even their box.
Yeah, it's not even a box. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so come on, choose for you. Like, and that's, my relationship is like, and the more I choose for me, the more the relationship I've got with other people are nurturing, contributive, and generative, like for real. Like yesterday, I was online doing something, and we are confined. We all move all the time. We are, a 17 years old relationship. And it's like, she just texted me like, because I was in another room and having online stuff, and she said, I so love what we are creating right now, and so great like to have more time together and create more harmony and stuff. I love you. And I was like, but after 17 years, that's great. And it's happening too because I choose more for me and she choose more for her. And at the moment, just create way more. And I'm so grateful to show that to my kids and be the invitation for them to choose that too.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. It's interesting when you talk about, choosing for you, or that phrase, because I see that misidentified a lot as excluding. People kind of do the choosing against instead of choosing for, and you actually did explain that really well. And you're right. Like, as you were talking about that, I realized that was a huge turning point in everything that I've created so far. I mean, I'm in a relationship now that's about 6 months old. But we've already moved in together. We're like, we're basically married, like we just sped it up and just did it, right? We were like, yeah, you, yes. Okay. So we just went. And so it feels much like time is not relevant in this, in this whole thing. And why was I saying that? One of the keys to this working as well as it does, and he and I have really talked about that, is that neither one of us exclude ourselves. So like he's always, making choices that include himself. And I've been in so many relationships where they didn't do that, where it was like trying to, exactly what you said, trying to make me happy, but then in the trying to make me happy, that wasn't even right. That didn't make me happy. And then they excluded themselves. And it was just this weird thing that didn't work. And what's really working about this is that both of us include ourselves first and then include the other person. And of course, it's not quite that linear. Like, it's not a thinking thing. It's just if I were including me here, what would I choose? Reality, you know? And it makes it so much more dynamic and fun to be in than anything I've ever done before, you know, like, constantly looking at like, well, this doesn't really work for me. Okay, cool. So like, what could I say here? What can we create here? What else is possible? And so it opens up the creation channels instead of going into feelings or like getting feelings hurt. We actually create something different based on what's going to work and not work for us individually. So it's really different, and it's very fun. It's way more fun including me. And it's, you know, I know a lot of situations with other people where that didn't work. You know, there was a lot of other situations in my life where that didn't work to do that. I mean, meaning it worked for me, but it was the destruction of the relationship because, you know, on their side, it meant something to do that. So it's been really fun to play with another person who can actually do that. It's key. It's key.
Yeah, I love that. And just being able, like, when you choose to be in action instead of reaction, and a lot of time in relationship you are in reaction, like it's like boom. It's not about like, sometimes we can get a bit intense, but it's always like, oh, in 17 years we never went to bed like angry to each other. We always make it up before that, but it's like now we can just see it like, let be the other one be intense for a moment. Sometimes like, oh, like bias bit higher and just lower down on bias, and within 2 minutes it's like, or less, it's like, oh, did you see how we did that? Yeah, how does it get any better than that then? And boom, and just starting something different. And for me, that's really going to the creations ship, like just you said with your partner. It's like, instead of having a quote unquote standard relationship and distance between two objects, it's like, let's create something different. That doesn't mean you have to be all the time together or create everything together. Not at all. It's just like being that space of contribution for each other. And like, when you don't wait on them to fulfill you, and you don't wait anything, like you don't need them, like it's just let them be a contribution. It's not being like Rambo or I don't know, and just, oh, I'm so powerful, I don't need anyone. Yeah, you don't need anyone, but you can let them be a contribution for you. It's part of gifting and receiving. And just when you do that from a space of contribution and generation instead of needs, boom, like relationship shift. And I'm so happy, as you say, like in 17 years, it has been a roller coaster. But I'm so grateful that we always have been an invitation to the other one to choose differently and more for them. And it's so fun to be able to explore that. And at the same time, I have the willingness to lose it. Like we discuss of that sometimes. It's just like, hey, it's so fun now. I just want more of that. Maybe it can stop. So let's enjoy today. Let's create today. Let's choose today. And don't make projection like, it could be 2 days, 20 days, 2 years, 2 months, 20 years. And I'm good with all of that, those options, you know? And that's so fun.
It is really, really, really different of you guys, though, to talk about your relationship as if it could end in any moment. I was in a very, very short-term relationship. It lasted for about 6 months. And I thought that was normal. So just talk about, hey, listen, let's enjoy it while we've got it. Like, you know, let's take one day at a time and enjoy it. And he did a lot of feelings around the fact that I was, you know, saying it could just be over at any moment, and he took that and he spun it, which indicated like where he was functioning from. But I'm so aware that a lot of the people watching this will be in different kinds of situations, right? Like you might not be in a situation where your other person has that available to them. One of the things that I'm doing with my relationship, because I am the person that's like taken the most access consciousness classes, I'm the person in the relationship with the most access to consciousness right now, even though he's really amazing, as I'm playing with the tools all the time and just seeing what I can change. So like I run clearing loops at night, which has actually made him so much easier. He's way more himself. I run his bars. Like in the very beginning, I didn't meet him through Access. He's not an Access guy. So in the very beginning, I with bars, you know, I just said, you know, hey, can I touch your head? And of course, I mean, his head between my legs. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So he let me touch his head, you know, a couple of times, and he didn't know what I was doing. He didn't ask. It's like, she's touching me, who cares? And then he started to discover like that he felt a lot better and he was a lot easier, and it made his life easier. And so now he's talking about bars to all these people. And so there were these different ways of contributing to making everything that we are now easier with the tools that I had, without being overt about it, without pushing my agenda, with just like changing the space so that something easy and fun could show up. And it's just getting like fun and better. And so he finally took a bars class, and now he's like, how does it get any better? And it's just cool. It's cool. Like when you do add Access to the mix with somebody who doesn't do a lot of Access, it changes things, but you can't have an agenda to change. You can't have an agenda like he's got to use the tools or anything like that. You've got to just have fun with it and see what can open up. So for anybody who's watching this that has a non-Access person in their life that they're playing with, that's one of the ways that I've been working with, and it's creating. It's fun.
Yeah. I mean, if you try to change someone, it will never work.
No.
You will lose so much energy. Like, it's not nurturing to yourself, your relationship, or to the other one. You don't have to save anyone. But as you just said, like, choosing for you, not against him or whoever that is, that just for you, not against other, is the invitation. Like, really being the leader of your life is the invitation for other people not to follow you, but to choose more for them. And that's one of the best gifts you can give to the world, your relationship, yourself, and your partner. And I so love when you say that. It's like, let's choose for me. And it's fun because sometimes I can see like some people in Access or like looking at relationship, and you can make that too much significance, you know, like sometimes they just don't be or use the tools, but it's kind of a weapon against themselves. And when you look at it like, oh, it's not the way it's supposed to be used or be, like maybe it's not, let's just keep the lightness of it. Like, those are amazing tools, and just use it for you and be the invitation for others, but don't try to force them into anything, Access or whatever.
It doesn't work, because especially if you are with another humanoid, even if they're not into Access, like humanoids have to do the opposite of what you say. So it doesn't work. I mean, that was something that I learned really, really early when I first got into Access. I had a boyfriend at the time, and I was like basically trying to evangelize him. Poor guy. And so, you know, he was already very resistant and had to resist me further. And so it just doesn't work. Like, it actually creates the opposite effect. And so, you know, relationship, I think, is one big manipulation into something way more fun if you choose it to be, you know. So it's like, it can always be, and manipulation is the art of maneuvering and skillfully maneuvering. And you can use manipulation for destruction, or you can use it to create. And, you know, skillfully maneuvering something and some situation into more greatness is a capacity that we have if we're willing to have it. And I see a lot of people in relationship doing this, like battling to be right instead of, you know, willing to be wrong, and skillfully maneuvering everybody into something that's greater and more fun. And that's been the art of that has been something I've cultivated over the years that has resulted in a lot more ease and a lot more fun and a lot more, you know. But I would say one of my best relationship tools is shut up. That's probably my primary relationship tool, is just shut the fuck up. Like, don't talk now. Nope, don't talk now. Don't, just smile and nod there. Don't, shut up.
I love that. Like, at that moment, just shut up. Like, what people
just shut
can
up.
hear.
Nope.
Now.
Keep shutting up. Nope. Don't say anything there. Oh, just smile there. Yep. Nod there. Say this one thing here. Like, shut up is honestly probably the tool that I use the most. Like,
That
Yeah,
doesn't
saying
mean
that to
you have to
somebody.
keep it for yourself all the time. It just at the moment, just see what will create the most and what the other person can hear right now and can receive. And just, oh yeah, shut up that time, but
Shut up.
don't keep it for yourself all the time. Just like, shut up. Okay.
No, of course it's
What's
not all the
bringing up?
time.
And talk to
Yeah.
him later or her later.
Yeah. I just had a lot of years where I was really committed to being right. And I still find that of anything that pops up in relationship that could create trouble, that commitment to being right is the thing that can create the trouble. And, you know, as women, especially, I think it's especially, you know, men are used to being wrong and women are used to being right. So it's like, you know, it's very easy for me to fall into that stereotype. Like, I'm the woman, I'm right. Hello, I'm just doing this haircut. This is a right haircut. You know? So yeah, so that's the thing. That's been one thing that I have really, really worked on and really, really been aggressive with myself about, is that need to be right in any situation, because the need to be right kills it. It kills the relationship. It kills the conversation. It kills. Oh, it's brutal. So shut up for me has been like key, like, and then I go away and I deal with myself. And then I'm like, okay, is there anything that I need to talk about here? Is there anything I need to say? Is there a way to say that would generate something instead of destroy something? And I think that's, for me, the relationship game that I'm always playing with myself, of like, if I say this, is it going to create or destroy? If I say this, is it going to create or destroy? Is something I ask myself a lot. Because I watched a lot of destruction in my childhood. My parents were very violently argumentative. Like, they screamed at each other. They would take themselves to the garage and just like literally scream at each other. I can't even fathom doing that now. But I watched a lot of that. So destruction was like all around me, and I got really good at destroying things. So now I'm like, calm the fuck down. This is going to create or destroy. So yeah, that's one of my best tools.
I love it.
Every scene.
You please do a graphic on that one. Best tool in relationship: shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. Stop talking. Yeah.
Boom. Okay. And it's, yeah, I know it's hard for women to stop to talk. I'm joking.
It is. Look, I've talked
do
over
it
you
too.
like 5 times already.
It's like, no, but like when you have the willingness to be free instead of being right, it's just change your whole life, and that's amazing. I really love that. And the I was like, what is she going to say? Number one tools in relationship: shut the fuck up. I cannot drop mic because I have a big mic, but it's like, yeah, mic drop. Thank you, Christel. Bye. Shut the fuck up. I love it.
Just shut up. Stop talking. Yeah. When we get into like touchy times, for the most part, his and my relationship is like incredibly easy. Like, it's just incredibly easy. And then there's occasionally these times where it gets really tense, you know. And when I've been looking at those moments, and one of the things I realized about myself, or one of the things that I've noticed happens, because I'm so aware, and this is for all of you guys watching this, do you have a level of awareness that kind of outstrips anything you've acknowledged? Because what happens in our relationship is, like, when he goes into judgment of himself about something, I pick up on it. And then I immediately think it's about me. And then if I make it about me, and I have come at the conversation making it about me, then we all of a sudden have a problem. And so I've had to really not only remind myself to shut up, but I've had to remind myself of how aware I am of his world. And those two things have kind of saved our ass a lot, because I can fight. I've grew up fighting. And this is what I find in most relationships. There's a lot of fight, you know, and I know how to fight. I know how to be right, and I know how to fight, and I know how to stonewall, and I'm an aggressive motherfucker. So I'm also really kind and caring and, you know, gentle. And so there's this, like, yeah, it's a remembering that I'm aware and that I'm picking up on whatever's going on instead of making it about anything, is another huge, huge key in relationship. And it's like, okay. And it was when I realized that I picked up on that he judges himself, because I thought that the judgment I was picking up on was mine and related to me. And it never is. And especially when you're close with somebody and they're in your world all the time, there's no separation for us. You know, we just like everything melts together and it's just like one big mashup of energies. And so that's been another huge life-saving awareness in a relationship. It was like, wait, is this mine? No. Okay. So he's dealing with some shit. Okay, cool. I wonder what I can contribute. Space, closeness, like what can I be for him that has nothing to do with me?
Yeah.
So that's been
it's something really changed for me since maybe 2 or 3 years. It's like before all my life I was like, I really want to save people. So it was kind of being a superior bitch too. And it was like, I can tell, like when LOD, I always perceived something was going on. And because the lack of confidence, I was like, it should be about me, as you just said, with other words. It's like, oh, tell me what's going on. And now I can just perceive it and just go to her and say, hey, you let me know if I can contribute to anything. Without being there like, oh, I can see you're not good or whatever. No, it's just, let me know if I can contribute to anything. And if she doesn't answer, I don't stay there. I just move and say, hey, I'm there for you. Like, let me know. And sometimes she just come back and say, oh, just you think that? It's all good. Like, it's just, it's go. And yeah.
So cool. Yeah. So cool. I think that's one of my 80,000 favorite things about the Access Consciousness tools. It's like the moment that we acknowledge something that's true, like even just you saying that, just it acknowledged that you saw something was going on. It acknowledged that you had her back. It acknowledged that she hadn't asked anything. It acknowledged all these things that were true for her that in one moment changed the energy. And that was the thing I didn't have access to pre-Access. I didn't have access to the quickness of functioning from what's really true. All the problems that I see in relationships around me now are caused and created by lies.
We kind of lagging a bit.
Ourselves, and then we do this and fight, And yeah, that's so cool that with one little thing you just change the energy. It just changes, and then that's it. Next, amazing miracles every day.
Just you don't have to save anyone. Just fucking be the invitation and to the contribution and create something different. And that's available. Like people, I've talked with a lot of person, like friendship about relationship. Like I've done a lot of hour and outside the show. Like I love that topics, and it's like, we all been told and we all buy it. Have to be complicated. It have to, like, people sometimes doesn't choose any relationship because of that. I mean, you don't need a relationship. Just do it if you want, or try it, be one and create one if you want. But it's not a bit. But I know when you start to create a creationship instead of a relationship, as I can tell when you spoke about your partner, it's like it generate way more. That should be the case, like creating and generating way more together than on your own. And at the same time, doesn't mean you have to create everything with the other one, but just them being a part of your life and a contribution to your life. And that's why sometimes a lot of people, you're not in a relationship, like not in a couple relationship, like you don't have sex, it's not about love or anything, but a lot of people can be a contribution for you just by being into your lives. And you don't have to fuck them, you don't have to have sex with them, you don't have to love
unless
them
you want to.
Unless you want to. But it's just like boom.
Yeah, that was one of the first questions that I asked when I first met anybody. When I met Andres like 6 months ago, I was about a month. I'd been dating a lot, and then I took like a month, and I was just like, the need for a relationship just went away. And then of course I met him, and I was like, so the first question I asked is, if I add him to my life, can we create 10 times more together than we could alone? Yes. Can we create 20 times more together than we could alone? Yes. Okay. Will it be fun? Yes. Will it be easy? Yes. Will I be grateful in the morning? Yes. Will I be happier after? Yes. Will I make money? Yes. So it was like all yeses. And I'm like, I'm in for the ride. Like, and that's been one of the things that has, it's been one of the awarenesses that has created more for me in the sticky times, because we've navigated a few sticky times because we sort of accelerated everything. So there's been some stick where there might not have been had we taken a little more space and time. But one of the things that I've really one of the things that I've reminded myself of is the long game, and also not the requirement for the long game. There's an interesting thing in relationship that I find, even with myself, and that is that there's a long game in the sense of like, hey, we're in it. I'm committed to me. We're creating, for example, if I'm talking about myself, I'm in it. I'm creating consciousness. We're doing the thing. There's also like, I can quit what I'm doing at any second and just change it. Like it's so interesting. Like when you're fully committed to you, or when you're fully committed to what you're creating, you have the sense and the commitment to the future with no attachment to how it shows up. So there's been that's been in this creation as well, of like, I'm in it. I'm committed. And at any moment, if I need to change it, I will, and I'm in. So that having both in there is such a gift, because the long vision, or I don't even really know how to say this any other way, but the long vision sort of keeps the small stuff, like, hey, is any of this going to matter in 10,000 years? No. Okay. Well, never mind. It keeps the small stuff in perspective. And the stuff where I would have normally gotten lost in the trees, just like trees slapping me in the face, I don't, because it's like, okay, is this going to matter in 10,000 years? No. Do we need to talk about something? Yeah. Is it going to take like 2 seconds? Yeah. So it's created something really different there, where what I used to do is like, if I committed to somebody, like I was obligated and committed to that person, or committed to that thing, instead of committed to me and what it is I want to create. I entered this with the awareness of what this was going to create for me. And I'm in this for what I know this will create. Will you over there do whatever you want? Yes. Will you choose whatever you want? Yes. Might you at some point change your mind, do something else? Of course. Yes. Might I? Sure. Yeah. But yeah, that's created a really different dynamic too. So I love that question of like, will adding this person create 10 times, 20 times more, but then never letting go of staying present in every 10 seconds and like living on the quicksand that really is. Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah. And it's all about the journey, not the destination. Like, yeah. Having fun.
You mean there is no there? What?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love that. And I love that conversation. Thank you, Christel.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you guys going to choose and create? And yeah, I really love when you say like, the really fun part is like really being engaging to yourself instead to the other one. Again, what's really cool when you don't need the other one and just ask to be like contributive and generative, it's way more light for them on their shoulder, because they don't have to fulfill your needs. Just ask, you just be the invitation for them to choose more for them. So it's more like, hey, cool, like, let me contribute to you. What can you contribute to me? And having fun. And yeah, I love the way you said it. I love that. Cool. Generate 10 times, 20 times and more. Yeah, more of that. Yeah. Commit to yourself. Yeah. Cool.
It's good. It's good.
Wow. Jason, do you have a question, mate?
Hi, Jason.
Hey guys, so just driving. No, it's just awesome. Yeah, no, thank you earlier, Christel, for your business one. That was awesome earlier this morning.
Awesome.
Learning to shut up, like that's massive. I was just still huge. It is like I've been married 18 years, and it's like the last 3 years has really intensified, and the last year since I've been doing access tools, and my wife has only just done foundation, so it's kind of like, she's like, feels how I deal with things with ease. Like the shitstorm at the moment. It's like, yeah, look, you can't do nothing about it, but create and just gear shift around it and distance yourself. But being like, my wife's a high school teacher, and at the moment she's dreading with our 2 young kids being at home, and I'm like, they're using the tools, so just go with that. But not everyone, as you're saying, like the righteousness, like I've just bought that and Maxwell's loop this morning, so
oh gosh, I've been listening to those for like 30 days straight. It's a game changer, those.
Yeah, that's why I just it just came through this morning, so can't wait. But no, relationships are, the longer they are, you've really got to keep changing with it and not solidify on how it used to be.
And
I love it.
destroy and create a relationship on a daily basis with yourself
That's
and with
huge.
the other one. I'm doing online classes for people, so I just have behind my screen a paperboard I just bought before the confinement, and it's like, for me, it's like if I took 1 pages every day and start with a white canvas, and what else can I create and what else can we create today, and just destroy and create a relationship on a daily basis. I love that.
Yeah, and for those of you guys, if you've caught this and you're new to Access, what he's talking about is basically waking up in the morning or at night, and at either end, or both, and go, everything my relationship was yesterday, I destroyed and created all right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, land shorts, voids, and beyonds, and that's the clearing statement. You can go to theclearingstatement.com. That's one of the tools that, and somebody asked me the other day, they said, what you mean destruction is creative? And I said, yeah, look at the earth. Like if you walk through a forest, most of the stuff on the forest floor is dead, except if you look a little closer, it's also alive. Death and life, contribute simultaneously together. There's no separation, and the earth doesn't have a point of view about death. So when a tree falls over, it just falls over. Little critters go inside it, bugs eat it, it contributes to the forest floor. But for some reason with, people and relationships, we've made death and destruction wrong. It's not. It's just, so what it does is that gives you the space to create something new. And so I've been doing this like for the last 15 days on my energy pull mashup series. Every morning we destroy and create our relationship with money, with our significant and significant others, businesses, ideas. We break up with our ideas. We break up with everything we thought was good, right, perfect, and correct every day, so that we can actually just have a different sense of things and have more space to create. So it's very generative. It's very creative.
Yeah, gives so much.
I love that.
Go for it, Jason.
Yeah, I love that bit. Sorry, mate. Sorry, Christel. I love that bit about the forest floor analogy. That's really great for visual people like my kids. Because we have a rainforest and the beach right near us. And because people say it's sad. We had some heavy rainfall early this year, and a big tree, about 100-year-old, fell over, but it's still alive. The roots are in the ground. It was just too soft. And when we explained to them that, nature, look at that, it's growing over a rock, it knew that it was limited life, but it thought, how good would it be to have the morning light on me for as long as I can? And if it doesn't work out, better luck next time. And when kids have that, they spread it to their friends, and it's too intense for adults. Like they really cook the adults with it. But I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's funny. It's interesting because what it does is it shatters all of our adult fixed points of view about how things are supposed to work. Like as kids, we actually get that stuff. That's like your kids they're like, oh, it's light. It's true. As adults, we bought into all these fixed things about how things are supposed to be, like what relationships are supposed to be. And if you are that way with a relationship, then that means something. It means you're not committed. It means you don't care. And so we've created all of these reference points and stability points and all this shit and made that more relevant than the space to just be. And in the space to be, everything's available. Like, actually the tree didn't have a point of view about where it grew. It worked just for that moment to grow right there. There was just enough dirt, just enough rock. The water came under it works, until it got knocked over. And now it's like, okay, next, So there's like literally zero point of view about anything, just functions where it can function until it doesn't. And then it does something else. And if we were willing to be that in our relationships, what would be different? Like, what would be different? And it's not that you necessarily have to tell your partner that that's where you're functioning from, because sometimes it's just for you, just for fun. Don't tell them. Shut up. But you can be that. And that's the difference. You can be that and that's the gift, because everything that you are invites everybody else to be that as well. And so shut up is seriously the best tool ever. Do not share with your partner what you're doing with consciousness. Just be it.
Shut up. I love it. Love it.
So cool.
Yeah, you could have like an advertisement for your next class, Christel, on that. Is just have a man with gaffer tape, no words. Or you could just put STFU on his forehead in lipstick.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. Love it.
Actually, I could also just put it over my mouth and go my face tool. Or so many ways to play with that. So good.
It's getting better, but we don't get the last sentence.
Romain, we're having too much fun on your Zoom.
Yeah, the last sentence.
I just was like, there's so many different ways you could play with that. Yeah.
And I it's fun because a lot of people like to. It's really more easy for people to know what they don't want instead of what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And what I loved, I use that a lot, like when I started buying companies or stuff like that. And I asked Elodie the other time, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, I entered in that room because that's her office. And I was like, oh, can I ask you something? Yeah. Can you just close your eyes? Like, and she said, yes. Yeah. Let's just say we are a year from now. Like, we are a year from now. And we look back and we had the most amazing years of our relationship. Like, it was the most contributive and generative year of our 18 years now relationship. What's happened? What did we did? Yeah. And it's just like looking at the fact that, and I will not tell the answer, but she will just give me some tips. And if you have the willingness to receive it, it's have a double like key school effect. Like, first, you kind of know what people like are looking for real, instead of your expectation of your thinking about it. So you can see if it's fun for you and if it will be nurturing to you. And if you be honest and vulnerable and ask the same to yourself, you can see like, is that like, it doesn't have to be identical, not at all. That's the whole creation.
No.
But at the same time, if you can see like it's way opposite, and it's like, oh my God, her best year looks like that, my best year looks like that. Maybe it's time to walk away. And sometimes walking away can be the winning deal.
Sometimes, I've walked away a lot. Done a lot of walking away. This is really the first time in the last 7 years where I'm really actively walking toward, and it's because I get that it creates, and in every moment, like every day I'm looking, and that's a capacity we have, is to look at the energy of what our choices are creating, and when they have that sense of space and when they have that sense of possibility, keep going with those. And as soon as you hit into something else, just wonder about it. Like, what is this? What can I do with it? How can I change it? How can I change it? But we do that too, actually. We talk a lot about like the next year, the next 5 years, and where we want to be individually and also together. And it's cool because we did the exercise actually on our own, and then we brought it together, and we're pretty much like vibing in the same general direction, which is fun. For us, that's like, oh, cool. And if that ever changed, then we would just change something. But yeah, it's a cool, I love that.
Yeah. It's been 45 minutes. I enjoy so much.
We just keep talking.
No, I love that. For real. It's like Wow. What else is
Cool.
possible? And I would love
What
to create
else?
a lot of stuff with you.
Yes.
I'm so grateful for you and having you in my life. Thank you so much for your contribution.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Jason. And thank you so much, you guys, for watching in the future. And yeah, what else is possible?
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Been awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so
cool.
much. Have a lovely day or night, wherever you are in the world. Thank you
It's
so
a
much.
nice sunny day.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.